And now, without further ado, let's talk about what we're going to do with this Djarek table. So, like I said, I'll show you a better picture of this here. But in this picture, what you'll notice is there's where these white pieces are, it's actually silver, and that silver is actually a lighter color than what the board is, or than what this outside part is. This outside part, from what I can tell in the pictures that I've seen online and whatnot, this outside part here is more of kind of a almost a pewter or something. It's more kind of a brownish silver. Um, but what I'm going to do is I've got some paint here, and I've got some silver paint, and this one is chrome silver, so this should be a nice bright silver. So I've got this chrome silver here, and what's this one? Oh, this is German gray. But I've got this nice bright silver. What I'm going to do is, it's going to be probably time consuming. I'm going to cut out these black parts. I may actually transfer this over to a piece of tape. So I've got some blue painter's tape here, and I might see if I can transfer this over to this tape and do it there, because um, I just have a feeling it's going to be a real pain to do this. But like I said, I don't know why I'm going through this much effort, other than I saw somebody that did this and it looks so much better doing it this way. Like I said, I don't know how much I am actually going to. Um, I don't know how much I'm actually going to detail the interior, but um, if nothing else, I'll know what it looks like, right? And I mean, whoever sees this, is always going to be asking, "Hey, can we see the inside?" They're going to look at the inside and go, "Oh, wow, that's nice." And if it looks like crap, they'll be kind about it, but um, they won't actually, be sincere, I would imagine. And I'm sorry about the noise upstairs. I don't know what's going on up there. Apparently, um, I think they're putting together some shelves or something. So if you can hear that, all the thumping and stuff up there, that's my wife and daughter. Um, what I should do is actually clean this. Um, yeah, I think I'll clean this and then I'll be right back. I'm just going to use a little bit of dish soap and clean this real quick just to get the oils and stuff off. And just like I did with the turret, or I will do it with the turret when I go to paint it, but just like I did with um, the cockpit, I did that with the cockpit parts as well. So um, I'm going to wash this so that way when I do put the tape on, it seals really good, and then also the paint will be able to adhere to this a lot better. It won't have my grease and stuff on it. So I'll be right back right after I clean this. Here we are. So I've cleaned this really well, and so here's my thought. Blue painter's tape. We're just gonna put that right over the top, and so um, off before I did this. So we're gonna put the blue painter's tape on. Come on now, cooperate, and put that all the way around. Yep. So the ladies are putting together a shelf or something. Okay. So look at that. We package that up nicely. So this is going to allow us to cut this circle out. of that, what I want to try is, how are we going to do this? Let's see. Wonder if we can do it this way. Will that still come off? Yep, okay. So let's see how well we can see that. Okay, we can see it pretty well. And now what we're going to do is, so we want to take the black parts off. Alright, so we're going to just cut the tape where the black parts are. Let's see if we can peel that up now. I have no idea if this is actually going to work, but I figure it's worth a try. Probably not all the way through. I figure it's probably worth a try just for the fact that I don't like the look of the white with the black. See, here's the problem, is I can't see quite well enough through this black, or through this blue tape. So I don't know how well my lines, my cuts are going to be. Man, those women can make a lot of racket. Holy cow. There we go. There we go. Get the proper tools for the job. There we go. Alright, so one thing is, all these little pieces may not be exact. So it helps to have a very sharp knife to do this. Anybody that's ever done modeling before knows that. Okay, I think I went all the way around. Boy, that tape didn't, blue tack didn't stay because the bottom of the sticker's not very, doesn't have anything very tacky to stick to. Let's see how well we did with our circle. Ooh. One little last bit. Apparently I didn't. Cut right there. There we go. It's going to be our circle for our Djarek board. Let's see here. So how that goes. Yep, looks pretty good to me. Now we got a little bit of roll on the bottom part here. So just gonna have to be conscientious of that. But I think that it's time to see what we can do. So I'm going to step away and paint this, and we're going to paint it. I think I might prime it first, and then I'm going to paint it with the silver. I'm going to prime it, paint over it with the silver first, and then when I get that done, I'll show you guys, and then we'll come back and get these put on. So I'll put this one on first after I take after I get that done. I'll put that on, and then I'll stick this in the middle and get it lined up. That's going to be a challenge and a half, but we'll get that put on, and then yeah, see how it goes. So I'll see you after a bit. Okay, so we're back partway through. And what do you think? We've got, pull this up a little bit. We've got our silver painted. I have no idea if this silver is the same or different. I think the metal should be the same as this, but I don't know. It looks a little bit different. We'll find out. You can only live once, right? Okay, so let's start off with this part here. And what we want to do is get this lined up on the outside. All right. Try to get this lined up here. Okay. So get that lined up, and we'll get those kind of pushed down a little bit. Ugh. Because they'll need to be. Let's do this. I don't need all this extra tape messing me up. There we go. All right. What we're going to do, I'm going to use the back of this, let's get this back on the blue tack there. I'm going to use the back of this to try to get my ends down like that. Because that's going to be the thing. We want to have those ends down. Now the nice thing is, because not all of these are, cut round, the circle that's underneath may help us with that. We'll find out. Now let's put this lovely little thing here in the middle and see how this goes. This ought to be quite the adventure and futility. And that one's not quite where it needs to be. Neither is that one. So that one's about right. This one needs to be over a smidge. See if I can kind of tweak this over a little bit without messing with the paint at all. Okay. So I kind of have that up. Turn this a little bit. Help me work with it a little. See, the problem is, I feel like the whole thing needs to be shifted a little bit that way. You, my friend, definitely need to be shifted that way. Shift you a little bit. We'll see if we can't cut some pieces to help you out. Let's kind of do that. Okay, so I have all these little pieces here. And let's see. So if we can't make some of these work, at least a little bit. That won't work at all. You gotta get the line right, at least. Sorry about the old sniffles here, ladies and gents. Yeah, see, I'm not liking that at all. I don't like that shape. No, I don't like that shape. Don't like that shape. The not very centered around. Let's see. Get one of these. Oops. Pull this part over a little bit. So this is the part that I was dreading because of the fact that I knew I'd be anal about this. And I am. And I am. As long as the paint doesn't go up underneath there, some of these are going to turn out not too bad. I mean, in reality, it's small enough. First of all, the whole circle's about the size of my thumbnail. So it's small enough that, you may not even notice hardly any of it anyway. So I'm not super worried about it. Definitely not worried about it being perfect. But it's got to at least give the illusion that it's accurate, right? Is kind of my thought. So at least give the illusion. I think that's going to be good enough. It's not, like I said, it's not perfect. Some of these black ones are going to be really small. And, hey, if I don't like it, I can always stick this over the top, and hide it all. I could come in with, some sort of a silver marker. Oops, sorry. I could always come in with a silver marker on this and do that. But okay, so I'm going to take this back over to my makeshift little paint booth. Might as well take my blue tack with me. And we're going to go over with some black paint. This should be gloss. Nope, that's flat. Here's the gloss. And there's my thing. And we'll see what it looks like when it's all done. See you guys after a bit. Okay, so as you can see, I painted it. The paint came out okay, right? So you can see that here. The paint itself is alright. Not great, it's alright. And you can see this is what the pattern is supposed to look like. But you can tell, my cutting the stencils was not very good. It's not very, very good at all. I don't like it. I'm going to see if I can't fix that. And then, if so, what I will have to do is I will have to find a kind of a less than great paintbrush here. Not that one. This one here. What I'm going to have to do, if I can get this off, is figure out a better way to put the stencil on. So I'm going to put this dried paint solvent on here and see if I can't take it off with that. Looks like it's already working, so I'm just going to put a fair amount on here, and we'll just try to get all that off. So works well because this is Model Master paint, and this solvent is Model Master, and I don't have any paper towels, so that's gonna make it tough. Just get this cap put back on here. Let me get some towels for this, and oh, here's one. I'll have to rectify that. So let's see how well this. Get rid of that. Okay, so take our paper towel here and see if we can't get this paint off. Alright, so coming off fairly well. Not perfect, but it is coming off. Now the question is too, is whether or not this solvent, now the primer that I used was lacquer. This is an acrylic solvent, so I don't know if it'll affect the primer or not. Kind of hope it doesn't, because if it doesn't affect the primer, then we'll be good, and we won't have to reprime it. If it does affect the primer, it looks like it is actually getting into the primer, so we'll have to repaint the primer, which is fine. Yeah, it's going all the way down, so down to the metal, which I'll repaint the primer. That's no problem. Which just means that I have to put another stencil on for the um, for the circle. I have an idea on how to make the stencil better, and we'll see if I can't do that, and I'll show that as well. So, oh, nearly all off. This solvent works pretty darn good. So kudos to the guy at Hobby Lobby who told my wife to buy this solvent. I'd say he nailed it. As far as a solvent that does what it's supposed to do. I think you're supposed to also be able to use this as a airbrush cleaner, which I haven't tried. Let me get this up into the thing there. I think you're supposed to be able to use this for an airbrush cleaner too, but I haven't tried that yet. So, and I'm thinking I may have to do this one in two parts. We'll just see how the editing comes out. So this may be a two-part video. Look at that. All the primers off. You can actually see where I cut the circle out on here, because what I did was I stuck it on here and cut around it with cut the tape when it was on here, which is fine. No big deal. But first step of getting that paint off is done. And then what I'll do is I'll get this good and cleaned up. Holy crap. So on the sides here, there's the little buttons, and the solvent actually took the buttons off too. That's kind of not a happy accident, but you can barely see those buttons. Let's see if we can get that to focus. So you can see those buttons there. The little dots, those are supposed to be the buttons that they press when they play. But I mean, you can barely see them anyway. So when it's in, I mean, you're not gonna be able to see it. It's more of this. So what I'm going to do is kind of mock this up, and then we'll approach it. I gotta find what I do with the tape. Regardless, so wherever I put the tape, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I can get something that I can put this on top of, because the problem was I could barely see through the tape to this to really be able to see the lines. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put this on and use either a fine-tipped mechanical pencil, which I should have one someplace, or a very fine-tipped pen, and actually draw the lines on and then take this off, because I don't want to cut into this any more than I already have in case I really have to use this. So I've actually cut into it when I was trying to cut it out, but I would get all the lines cut on and then, or put in, and then I'll get a straight edge and actually use the straight edge to cut all these lines straight, and then hopefully get some light underneath or something that I can see the lines here as I'm cutting, so I can try to make them better. And then I'll get it all cut out, put it onto here after it's primed and everything, put it onto there, and then I'll actually pull out the black parts. So I'll prime it, paint the silver, and I'll put the sticker on, um, or the paint or the tape on with the stencil, and then I'll pull out all the black parts, and then that'll leave just the silver part will remain. So it'll be same process that I did last time. It's just I'm going to go do a different route of doing the tape for the stencil that I'm going to be making, and we'll finish it up with that. So I think I'm going to have to get myself some more paper towels to have down here. All right. Well, that's it for this one. And after I get everything kind of set up and situated, I'll bring you back and let you see how I'm going to do the rest of that. Okay, so I've painted this twice now, and now we get to see how well the second time came out. So I did the stencil a little bit differently, and hopefully it came out much better. So I will admit, it took me a couple days to finally get around to doing the painting, because of the fact that I got to be careful in this part, because of the fact that I was having some issues with my airbrush. So this is really the hard part for stuff like this, because um, if you're not careful, you'll scratch it, or you'll pull up the paint. Ugh, that sucks. So I pulled up the paint. That's no good. So I'm going to have to touch that up, I think. So you probably can't even see it. You can see it just a little bit. So let me get this off of here. So right here, little paint got pulled up, and there's a couple little spots around. Let me putting this up here. So you can kind of see where a couple of the little spots. But as you can tell, let's do this. As you can tell, let's get this kind of level here. My stencil looks a lot closer to the sticker now. I just got to fix up some of that stuff and we'll be all right. Looks like I could have adjusted that one a little bit. I didn't do that, but that's all right. Like I said before, this is going to be in the cargo hold, and I'm not going to really worry about that all too much. But I do want to try to, make it look somewhat nice, right? So, we do what we can. So this will end up testing my hand painting skills by the time it's all said and done, which is fine, whatever. Gotta test your skills all the way around, right? So let's make sure we can get this whole thing off without any major issues. Go all the way around. All right. Okay, there you go. So there's the semifinal. I'll paint this by hand, touch this up off camera. I'm sure there's no reason why you guys would want to watch me touch that up. Probably a lot of cursing and it'll be very slow going. So, but yeah, so I had left what I had done was I had after I cleaned all the old one off, I had reprimered it, reshot the silver over the primer, and then that sat there for several days before, and I had already cut the stencil out. Actually, my daughter cut the stencil out, and if you guys want to see how we did that, I can show you, but it's not that exciting. I can explain it to you. So basically, I took a Pyrex cookie or a cake pan, flipped it upside down, put some white underneath it, and then put the tape with the sticker underneath it like this. And what I had done was I had done this, and so you can barely even see that end of there. But so I had done that, and I took my pencil. I have this Pentel 0.5 millimeter pencil. I've had this pencil since high school, essentially, maybe even junior high. I think is when I first got this pencil. So I've had it forever, and I love it. But I took this and I drew the thing, and I even used this. This is actually a HO scale or N scale. We got HO scale or N scale and Z scale on this side. We have HO, S, and O scale for a scale rule. But I just use this as a straight edge, and I drew all my lines on a straight edge. Apparently I didn't draw them. This pencil, unfortunately, on the tape doesn't mark super well. But yeah, so then my daughter cut it out. She's got slightly better steady hands than I do. But it'll work. I won't complain too much. It'll do what I wanted it to do after I touch that up. And it's just going to take a little bit of paint, nothing major. Just a little bit here and there, and it'll be good. Be good enough to sit in the cargo hold and all that kind of stuff. So what I should do is probably clear coat this, but that's all right. I'll leave it the way it is. I mean, I can't clear coat it until I hand paint it anyway, but I don't think that there was anything that I could have done with the tape, pulling the tape off, because they actually pulled it off underneath the tape, and I had just put that tape on there this afternoon, the stencil tape for the little parts. So that's stuck on there pretty good. Anyway, I think we'll call this the end of issue 2. Yeah, so there's that was basically the last part, right? So we did the turret. Like I said, I'm going to paint it. We did our sticker there, and we got our Djarek table. It is called the Holo game, but it's called a Djarek game. Djarek Holo Chess. So we got all episode 2 or issue 2 done. Next time we will be doing issue 3, and I got a lot of fun stuff planned for this one, particularly these seats, I think, and we'll be putting some more of the cockpit together, and then we'll be on to issue 4. All right, everybody, I hope you're enjoying this, and have a good one. Bye.
This bucket of bolts is never going to get us past that blockade.
Baby's got a few surprises left in her, sweetheart.